What's up, Atlanta Bird Gang? It's your dog, Toddy. Checking in with a live stream, man. We're gonna do it like a real quick live stream, you know what I'm saying? Just talk a little bit. We're gonna talk about Kyle Pitts today, as you see in the title. We're gonna talk about Kyle Pitts, the Atlanta Falcons, and Arthur Smith, and expectations, and scheme and playing style. We'll go over that. And we're also going to discuss breaking news today, as I'm sure you all have heard. Philadelphia Eagles star quarterback Jalen Hurts signs a new contract. signs a new contract. Congratulations to him. New record breaking contract with the Eagles. We'll discuss that. We'll discuss how does that affect the Lamar Jackson contract negotiations? Does that make Lamar's situation good? Does it make it bad? We'll talk about that. So we'll stay on for um a quick spell, and we'll discuss that also. But happy Monday to everybody. Start of a new week. As far as work week goes. So happy Monday to everybody. Hope everyone is having a good Monday thus far. Let's go out here and have a productive week. So let's see who we got checking in thus far, and then we'll get to our topics or our topic. My dog John Brooks in the building says I'm first. What's up, Tyler? Let's go Falcons. What's happening with you, John? How's it going, bro? We got Jamarius 58 Gilliam in the building. How you doing today, bro? What's happening? I got my dog Larry from the Dixon Way. Says, yo, we in the house. What's up, Tyler? What's happening with your dog? What's going on? And y'all make sure to also check out Larry at the Dixon Way also. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be streaming game 2 Hawks versus Celtics also. So make sure to show them some love. If you're not following them already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and then run up them likes also. Lisa Shepard is in the building. Says, let's chop it up. How you doing today, Lisa? Also, y'all, Lisa will be joining myself, Uncle Steve, for our annual Atlanta Bird Game live draft show. We do it every year. It's become, like Steve said the other day on one of his shows, it's become like a annual tradition for us now. So we stream the first day of the NFL draft, which is the 27th on Thursday. To be myself, be Steve. Lisa said she's gonna come check in. She's gonna be live at the draft, and then we'll have a few other people come in and check in as well. And it's always a lot of fun. We always get good feedback from it, so looking forward to it. We'll start promoting it probably this week sometime because the draft is right around the corner. So y'all make sure to check that out. But we'll talk about that also in the very near future. Facebook users, hello, good sir. Hello to you as well. Can't wait to hear this. Let's get to it. Let's get straight to it. Dixon Way says, Ty, did you see the video the Falcons just released today about edge rushers the Falcons are looking at? No, I missed it. Is it what is it on? Is it on their YouTube, or I assume or the Instagram? But I have not seen it yet, man. So I'm gonna have to check that out. If it's not too long, we might can watch it here together. We might can stream it here together. Lisa says looking for Arthur Smith to maximize picks this season. Myself as well. Myself as well. Hey, gotta pay some dividends with that number 4 pick, man. So can we maximize Kyle Pitts' potential? His third year in the NFL this coming season in 2023. So I'm going to be very interested to see what the approach is going to be with the offensive scheme this year. I went back last night and I watched an interview Arthur Smith did about a month ago. and they asked him about the success that he had in a running game in the 2022 season. I'm paraphrasing here, but he pretty much said, "Yeah, that was cool, and a lot of that is due to my quarterback skill set and playing style." He said, "Year one here when I had Matt Ryan, we had a different scheme. We had a different scheme, a different strategy on offense because we were playing to Matt Ryan's strengths. I was calling plays to his strengths. I was designing plays to complement the things that my quarterback Matt Ryan did best year one of me and the Falcons. Year two, we have Marcus Mariota. So the same strategy that I relied on with Ryan, I have to bring that same strategy to Marcus Mariota. So you saw a lot more running to better complement Mariota's skill set, which the Falcons did a lot of running. So he also said he wanted to be more balanced this coming season in 2023. Again, I'm paraphrasing. He was pretty much saying, yeah, running is cool, but we got to be more balanced on offense. We can't run 58% of the time, so he said, expect us to be more balanced this coming year. So now we're going to have the Desmond Ritter. I don't want to say the Desmond Ritter era. I guess I could say that. Or maybe I should say the continuation of the Desmond Ritter audition. Maybe that's a little more politically correct. So we'll see how they approach things in the continuation of the Desmond Ritter audition. Because if you guys notice, which I'm sure you have, or I'm sure you did, um, the 4 games Ritter started, the play calling was totally different. Now, I think that was for maybe a couple reasons. One main reason is I really think Arthur Smith was evaluating his quarterback. So he wanted to see him throw the ball. So we did a lot of we did way more throwing with Ritter than we did with Mariota. Let me put this phone on silent. My bad. So I think that was the evaluation process, and I also think he was since our season it was effectively over by the time Ritter started playing. He was getting his schemes and his plays ready for the 2023 season. If Ritter has to be the day one starter, hey, this is some of the things that I want to do. So you saw Arthur Smith going for it a lot on fourth down. Again, the season was over. And it's not like we were playing again in the playoffs. So I think that played a big part in the play calling as well. And you also noticed that we didn't run a lot of RPO with Ritter compared to what we did with Mariota. With Mariota, the RPO was a staple of the offense. With Ritter, there were two games I remember counting where they only did RPO run 2 times in the entire game. So it was night and day in terms of philosophy, scheme, and play calling. So we're gonna see how they approach it in 2023 with Ritter and again Kyle Pitts. We're gonna see what happens with the unicorn this year. What's gonna go on? John says, I think Lamar Jackson is out in Baltimore. He's demanding players for the Ravens to sign. I saw they recently signed Odell Beckham Jr., OBJ. And I also saw, I don't know how true this is, but I read somewhere that Lamar wanted them to sign OBJ, which they did, and also Hopkins. And I like I said, I don't know how true this is, so don't quote me on this. But I read somewhere that Baltimore said they couldn't get them both, so they get one of them. But we'll see how that situation is going to play itself out as well, because that's a whole nother thing as far as like how the Lamar Jackson thing goes, especially now that Jalen Hurts just signed his deal, and we're going to talk about that as well. My guy RJ Falcons is in the building. Says happy Monday to you, big homie Todd. Happy Monday to you too, also. and have a good week as well, man. I appreciate the support. Appreciate you checking in. Uh, my guy Kelly is checking in. What's up with you, Kelly? How you doing today, bro? Facebook user says, this is Philip, fam. What's happening with you, Philip? What's going on? False start is in the building. Says, what it do? What's popping? False start. John Bruce says, I'm good. What's cracking? What's happening? Um, Facebook user said, what's up, Tidy? Why people not worry about middle linebacker? That's a good question, man. That's a great question. I did a video during last year where I said I was worried about Troy Anderson because his play I was watching Troy a lot last year when he was playing, and I was real concerned about his playing in terms of the production we got out of him, or more or less the impact at linebacker that we were getting. I didn't like what I was seeing, and just like as a personal thing with me, I try my best not to be too hard on rookies because they're just rookies. So I didn't, I wouldn't, I don't think I was too critical of them. But if you got the time, I did a video about Troy Anderson a few months back. Facebook users, what's good, Tyler? What are you thinking? What will happen with the number 8 pick? Um, I don't even I honestly don't know what the Falcons gonna do this year at 8. I don't really have any idea, to be totally honest. I think a lot of it is gonna depend on how the draft plays out. If the quarterbacks, if you get a runner like last year, the Falcons started a run of wide receivers. Falcons drafted Drake London at 8, and then everybody else just followed behind. So at the top of the draft, if you see quarterbacks going off the board very, very, very early, of course, Bryce, CJ, Will Levis, Anthony Richardson. If you just see the quarterbacks starting flying off the board, then I think we get a defender at that point in time. Um, Possibly Jalen Carter. I hope they don't hold his outfield stuff against him. I would love to get him here. I like Witherspoon. I'm starting to really lean toward Tyree Wilson as my number one guy. I've just been watching him and checking out his film, and then you look at his size. Guys like 6'6", 270, man. That's your prototypical size you want for a pass rush in the NFL. So I really don't know. They may go cornerback. Gonzalez with the spoon. Um, Knowing the Falcons, they may go guard Skronowski. They may do the Bijan thing. I really don't know. I have my preferences, but in terms of what the Falcons are going to do, I have no idea, man. This, as a Falcons fan, this team is so unpredictable. So we shall see. The last 2 years they have disappointed me. With the first pick in the first round, I didn't want Kyle Pitts. I didn't want Kyle Pitts in 2021 as the 4th pick. I was not an advocate of that at all. I thought that was quarterback time. Y'all know me. I always be talking about quarterback. I thought that was quarterback time for sure because we saw it was time to get Matt on out of here. So I felt like that would have been a good time to get a little puppy and let the puppy sit on the bench, you know, until it was time for him to run the yard the following year. But anyway, that didn't happen. Kyle Pitts here. It is what it is. 2022. I didn't want us to get Drake London, and that nothing against these players. I'm just saying from a build a team aspect. I didn't see the rhyme or reason to take pass catches in the top 8 in consecutive drafts. I didn't understand it, but that's one of the things that make the Falcons the Falcons. uh, John Brooks says, Todd, I've heard Carter hasn't even met with the Falcons, but he's met with everyone else. I saw that too, and then I saw someone tweet yesterday that he does have a meeting scheduled with Atlanta. So what I read last night, or the last thing I read, he is supposed to meet with the Falcons. I think sometime this week. Maybe somebody in the comments can clarify that for us. Larry says I posted it in the ABG. Okay, I'll make sure to check it out because I have not seen it yet. John Harris says that is Pitts ready to play? If he is and he isn't a focal point of the offense, then we go back to the actual pick and question why Pitts was chosen number 4. I guess that's a good time now to segue into the Pitts part of the discussion today. Because like a lot of what I hear from our fan base, and as Falcons fans, you hear a whole lot of shit from this fan base, and rightfully so. We root for the Falcons. You know, if you like you really care about the team, you've been following the team a long time, like pretty much all of us have. They've taken you on emotional roller coasters. So the opinions are gonna they're gonna vary, and none of us really gonna totally always agree on everything, and that's totally fine. That's totally fine. But I feel like they really gotta find some way. I don't necessarily want to say justify, but I do kind of want to say justify. I feel like they gotta find some kind of way to like, hey, this is why we picked Kyle Pitts as number 4. And Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith, they love to preach about their plans. Well, we plan to do this. Fontenot love to talk about his plans. Well, we had this plan, we had this plan, we had this plan. Okay, let's see the plan with Kyle Pitts. And if we're gonna do the run heavy thing, and as I mentioned, Arthur Smith said he wants to be more balanced. So he's kind of that interview that I heard from him last night, which is about a month old. He was kind of going away from the narrative of I'm just gonna run the ball 60 times. You're like, no, I want to open my offense up. Again, I'm paraphrasing, but that's the gist of what he said. And I feel like he has to. You gotta find some type of justification for taking a pass catching tight end at number 4. 3 touchdowns in 2 years, that's not justification. I'm sorry, nothing against Kyle, but like, hey, you could have got that later on in the draft. You could have got that in the 4th round. We had a tight end on the team this year. Damn, I forget his name, but he had about the same amount of touchdowns in 8 or 9 games that Pitts has had in his whole entire career in Atlanta. And I know touchdowns ain't everything, but damn it, it's 6 points. The name of the game is to put the most points on the board at the end of the day. So Arthur Smith really needs to find a way to show us, okay, this is what I saw with Pitts. This is why I got Pitts. Especially, when you pass up Justin Fields, who was sitting there waiting to be taken. When you passed up on a Justin Fields, who's actually from the Metro Atlanta area. You pass up on the Justin Fields, who before the draft, he was pretty much campaigning, raising his hand. Hey, Atlanta, I want to stay at home. I'm a home guy. My parents are here. I love to be to have home cooking 2-3 days a week. I'm here. Fields was basically campaigning. Hey, draft me. But they go with the pass catching tight end. So now, like, if Fields come out here and like if he has that breakout year, it's not gonna look very good for our shot callers, Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot. I saw something, I forgot which publication put it out, but they redrafted the 2021 draft. They had I was about to say Tyler. I'm thinking about Tyler Algier, but they had Trevor Lawrence, of course, was the first pick. They had and I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head. Number 2 pick was Micah Parsons. Number 3 pick was Justin Fields. Number 4 pick, which they had us getting Jamar Chase, if I remember correctly, and they had Pitts all the way down at 9. So I do feel like it's some pressure this year for Arthur Smith to, hey, you need to justify this pick, man. You do. Now, I know some people can say, and I can make the argument also. Well, look at Kyle Pitts and what happened when he had Matt Ryan. He set a record as a tight end, and that's all true. But let's be real too. We threw a lot there were a lot of passing attempts, and I would probably say at least 70% of the yardage was him lined up as a wide receiver, split out wide. So granted, it was a rookie tight end record, but 3/4 of that came with him playing the wide receiver position. So kind of had like a little slick advantage there, compared to the field. Still only one touchdown. Still only one touchdown. So if the plans was to not keep Matt Ryan and keep that same type of offense, that's fine. Cool with that. I felt it was time for Matt to go. But again, going back to the plans, y'all did not plan for this and think, well, hey, maybe being that we're about to do a transition at quarterback, because I'm sure they knew Matt Ryan's era was coming to an end within the first 2 years of their administration. I'm sure they knew that. When you have a tenured quarterback like Matt Ryan, and then you have a team like the Falcons who are not winning, you bring in a new head coach, you bring in a new general manager. A lot of times the owner is doing that to remove the current regime of players. So that's why you saw when the new guys came in, a lot of the old guys got swept out of here. Matt got swept out of here. Julio got swept out of here. Deion Jones got swept out of here. A lot of times the new guys are cleanup men. Okay, come clean up the mess and rebuild it. Tear it down and rebuild it. So what I'm trying to say is like y'all didn't foresee that. Y'all didn't foresee that. And that's why a lot of times I don't be wanting to hear that best player available stuff. Because I know what it means. I know what it means. I know the philosophy behind it. But to me, it has been overstated by the Falcons fan base. They're just using that as an easy way out to not really have a true discussion about draft picks. So that's why I don't be want to hear that best player available stuff. Because now after 2 years, I can come back and say, well, is Kyle Pitts was he the best player available at 4? So it's just a lot of twists and turns with the whole Kyle Pitts situation, and are we going to be able to get the most out of Kyle Pitts? I remember on the Kelsey's Brothers podcast, they had Gronk on there, and they was pretty much saying, hey, man, the Falcons don't know how to use that guy. They don't know how to use it, And I forgot who it was. I think it was Travis Kelce. He threw like a little jab. I don't know if it was an intentional jab, but it was definitely a jab at Arthur Smith, because he was like, well, thank God I got a good coach. So that was a little jab. In fact, let's see if we can look at that real quick together. Give me a second. Let's watch that together. It's only about 40 seconds. So let's watch that real quick, and then y'all have a better idea of what I'm talking about. Also, I'm actually borrowing this clip from Big Low Country's YouTube page. Shout out Big Low Country. And the reason is when I searched for it, that's the first thing that popped up. So again, props out to Big Low Country. But let's look at this together, y'all. Just let's watch this together. Myself out of here.
I don't even know of a rookie tight end that's doing anything. I mean, you got Kyle Pitts, but I mean, I feel like he's kind of like a tweener. Like I don't think he's a tweener. He's not sure if he's a tight end. He's not sure if he's a receiver. And if you get his game down, I think he's got he's super athletic, but
crazy upside.
Crazy upside. But I think you have to figure out how to use his upside for him to be successful. And this year, 100%. He downgraded because that new coaching staff or whatever doesn't know how to use his talents, because he's not exactly a tight end. He's not exactly a receiver. So how do you use his talents is the question.
Right. That's a great point, man. And I'll tell you what, I'm thankful that I got a great coach. That can,
Andy's pretty good at that.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm thankful that I got a great coach. That can,
Andy's pretty good at that.
Yeah, he's pretty damn good at that. Yeah, that's actually my whole career is Andy Reid.
Mine's Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
But yeah, and that's kind of what I'm saying also as well. Pretty much everything that they were saying. Did y'all catch the little shot there? Like it was I don't think it was an intentional jab, but it was a jab nonetheless. I'm thankful I got a good coach. But getting back on topic, man. You drafted a guy at 4. You and it was a controversial pick to a good deal of people, and then you had the other people that was on that best player available narrative, and all right, make it make sense now. You say you drafting best player available. Okay, make it make sense. Make it make sense. So we got to figure out a way to make the Kyle Pitts pick make sense. Because if we're looking at Kyle Pitts production, let's look at Kyle's production since he's been in Atlanta. Because I remember the conversations in this fan base before the Kyle Pitts draft pick. Because again, I didn't nothing against Kyle Pitts. So y'all don't go back and say, man, Tyler, he know Kyle Pitts. No, it's nothing against Pitts. I really think in the right system with the right players, with the right quarterback, the right coaching staff, with the right scheme, I think Kyle Pitts could potentially become a Hall of Fame type talent. I just don't know if Atlanta is that place for him right now based on how we are built. Last year in 2022, Kyle looked like a fish out of water. And I remember by like week 5, week 6, I could see him visibly frustrated on the field. You could see it in the body language. You could just see the frustration. Same kind of frustration I remember seeing from Julio Jones, like his last year here. He just like you could tell like that body language from Julio this last year. He was like, I'm just over this. I'm over Atlanta. And I just seen that same level of maybe not as bad, but I just saw the body language with Kyle. But I mean, let's take a look at and Kyle Pitts stats. He's only been here 2 years. Like again, the first year with Matt Ryan, 1,026 yards, 68 receptions, but again, only 1 touchdown. 2022, a dismal year. He got hurt, but he did play in 10 games. Only had 28 catches in 10 games. Only 28 catches in 10 games. 2.8 receptions per game. 356 total yards. 35.6 yards per game. This is the number 4 pick in the draft. For a team starting a rebuild year 1. That's the number 4 pick. 2 touchdowns. So in 3 years, no, I'm sorry, in 2 years with Kyle Pitts, he has 3 touchdowns. And I remember what everybody was saying. Well, not everybody. I remember what a good deal of people were saying. Well, you got to get Kyle Pitts because he's going to solve all the red zone issues. He's a touchdown machine. He's going to solve all the Falcons' red zone issues. Okay, well, we still waiting. We are still waiting for that. Oh, he's going to solve every red zone issue you've ever thought you had by drafting Kyle Pitts. You're going to be so much more proficient and efficient in the red zone. 3 touchdowns later. So you got to make that pick make sense at the number 4 pick. You got to make that make sense. So for all my best player available people, okay, let's get it. Where is it at? Where's it at? And and if they and that's some of the reason too, y'all, that I'm not on the Bijan Robinson hype train. Because if you drop Bijan at 8, okay, now we finna, regardless of what Arthur Smith said a month ago, you drop Bijan at 8. All right, we finna keep running. We're gonna keep running now. Because now we got a rookie in Bijan, who some people have said he's a prototype of Adrian Peterson, I've heard. LaDainian Tomlinson, I heard. Saquon Barkley. Okay, great, cool. But that lets me know we're about to keep running. And if you keep running, naturally, that's going to take away pass attempts. So if you're taking away pass attempts, somebody need to explain to me, what did y'all see to take a pass catching tight end at 4 in the draft? Best player available. That's what people love to tell me. And I tell people for everybody in the ABG group, I be telling people all the time now, listen, do not come on this post talking to me about best player available. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Don't talk to me about it. Because I'm tired of hearing best player available. Make it make sense if this is the best player available. So that's some of the reason I'm not on the Bijan train. Because if you're gonna draft Kyle Pitts at 4, you're gonna draft Drake London at 8. 2 consecutive pass catches. You could pretty much say 2 wide receivers. Kyle lines up out wide 70% of the time, but I'll be political. 2 consecutive pass catches. You gotta be throwing the ball. That don't equate if I'm starting off and I got 2 top 8 picks. Now, if you drafting 23rd in the first round, fine. You drafting 28th in the first round, okay, fine. That's cool. But you drafting 4, and then you double that down, and the next year you draft 8, and I'm taking pass catches. You need to be throwing the ball. You really need to be throwing the ball to make those picks make sense. If not, you could have found better value for your team and your rebuild than pass catches. Running back, wide receivers, they come a dime a dozen in today's NFL. Running backs, wide receivers. So I don't know what the plan gonna be. Again, I keep going back. I watched that interview last night. Went back and watched it. I had already watched it before, but I just went back and watched it. Ultimately, like, yeah, I plan on opening the playbook up more. All right, let's do it. Because again, you bring Bijan Robinson here, that's a ground and pound team. Robinson, Algier, and you still got Cordero Patterson, and you just gave my boy Lindstrom $105 million. You just gave McGarry $10.3 million a year. You're about to run the ball. I'm saying you're about to run the ball because that's what you do best at that point. And then you got a second-year quarterback with only 4 starts under his belt. Do I really expect them to come out and start airing the ball out? So, gotta make this make sense. And see, there are a segment of fans that they won't have this conversation, or they'll get mad at me for saying stuff like this. Oh, you just always bitching, you just always crying. Dude, I'm a Falcons fan. What the fuck? I'm a fan of the Falcons. You think a fan of the Falcons, they ain't gonna be skepticism, complaining, you know? Well, you're a couch GM. You act like you know better than they do. What have they shown me to gain 1,000% of my trust? What have they shown me? I love that. I love this team. But y'all know me, I'm going to keep it a whole brick. What have the Falcons done to gain 1,000% trust from us as fans? They blew the most winnable championship game in sports history. I don't even want to say professional sports. I really want to say any level of sports. It's Rec Center teams that could have closed that game. Blew that game. I remember being at the Dome against the 49ers, Vernon Davis, Kaepernick, up 17-0. Boy, I'm sitting there with my drink and my cigar in my hand, and boy, I'm just partying in the storm. I'm talking all kind of shit to 49ers fans, because there's a bunch of them out there. I'm just talking all kind of cash money shit. 12 minutes pass and we lose. Like, damn, what the fuck? How that happen? 5 consecutive losing seasons that I'm sitting on right now with this team. So what have the Falcons done to just be 100% trustworthy? Trust isn't given, it's earned. And as y'all know, I'm a big Georgia Bulldogs fan. Man, I used to sit here and bitch about the Bulldogs for years. Man, get rid of Mark Richt, man. I'm so tired of Rick, man. Rick, we got to get a new coach in here, man. Get rid of Rick. I could pull up them posts. I got hundreds of those posts from years ago. Man, Rick can't get the job done, man. He's not the type of personality we need right now in college football. We got to get rid of Rick. But they eventually fired Rick, brought in Kirby, and you know what? 2 trophies later, Kirby Smart has my trust. I don't even really. I still talk about the Bulldogs, but it's not like I talk about the Falcons. I talk about the Falcons with more questioning, skepticism. I celebrate the Bulldogs. They have my trust. When people be like, who's going to be the quarterback for the Bulldogs this year? I don't know. Kirby will figure it out. That's Kirby's job. But you asked me about the Falcons. I got 3 million opinions about the quarterback position because the Falcons have not gained my trust. I love them to death. I do. Fans since I was 4 years old. But they have not gained my trust. They've been here since the 60s. Ain't figured it out yet. I remember there was a time where the Braves were the biggest jokes in professional sports in the state of Georgia. It was the Atlanta Braves, the Bad News Braves, Dale Murphy, Bob Horner, Rafael Ramirez. But you know what? The Braves figured it out 1 year. Granted, the Braves should have got more than 1 World Series in the 90s. But you know what? They figured it out at least 1 year. They figured out a way not to choke for at least one of those years and give us Braves fans something to feel good about, to feel accomplished. Like, yeah, man, Braves did it. They figured it out. Now, it took them 20-something years to figure it out a second time, but they figured it out a second time. So I don't worry about the Braves no more. I remember going to the parade the other year, like, man, this shit feels so good to me. I didn't get to make the parade in the 90s. I missed that Braves parade. But I made the one, what that was, 2021, 2022, whatever the year that was, Braves won. I made that parade. Man, that felt so good. To see all them people out there. And this is when COVID was more at its height. And you know what? We all was out there like, F COVID. We about to celebrate our Braves. F COVID. I remember it was cold out there, but you didn't feel it because you felt so good. Your boys brought the trophy home. I always say when a professional team wins a championship, that's the one time the fans truly win. Is when they bring that championship home. When Acuna had that World Series trophy and he was swinging that joker up, and you know they cracking open beers, that's when the fans win. So Braves, hey, y'all got my trust. Let's go. Whatever Snick decide he gonna do, that's what Snick gonna do. Snick done proved himself to me. Whatever Kirby decide he gonna do, like, I still remember how critical most of all of us was when Kirby decided he was going to run with Stetson Bennett at quarterback. that decision was questioned. It was picked apart. It was prodded upon. But you know what? 2 championships later, don't nobody even talk about that no more. 2 championships later, people call Stetson Bennett the greatest Georgia Bulldog in history. 2 championships later, people are calling Stetson Bennett the most important Bulldog in history. 2 championships later, people are calling Kirby, I'm finna say Kirby Puckett, rest in peace. People are calling Kirby Smart the greatest UGA coach in history. That's what championships do. So that's why I second guess the Falcons. That's why I'm so critical of the Falcons. That's why I don't just go along with anything the Falcons say. That's why I question the decision to bring Ritter in as to project the start. It's not personal. I love this team. I've been a Falcons fan since like 3 or 4. My mom a Falcons fan. My dad a Falcons fan. You know, I ain't have no choice. So it's not personal. I truly love this team. I hope it don't happen, but if they go 0-17 in the next 2 years, I'm still gonna be here. Still gonna be here. You know, I'm gonna be banging on some people though, but I'm still gonna be here. I ain't going nowhere. That's my team. That's my squad. I love the Falcons, man. This my favorite team in the world is the Falcons. Even though the Braves got the World Series, even though the Bulldogs got back-to-back natties that I could just talk all kind of shit to my friends, the Falcons are my favorite. The Falcons are my favorite. So that's why the skepticism be there. You know? And I know we got some fans like whatever in some people's eyes, the Falcons can do no wrong. They're gonna never question the team. Whatever the Falcons do, the Falcons could go to the Sahara Desert and bring a giraffe back and play quarterback. And some people will try to rationalize how that's a good idea. Well, you know, the giraffe is 18 feet tall. He can see over the line. You know, hey, be patient with the giraffe. He'll figure it out. You got fans that are like that, man. They just go whatever the team do, they're going to ride with it, support the decision, blah, 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 blah. But with me, until I see these jokers turning around, I'm going to criticize certain decisions. I'm going to be vocal about certain things that I don't like because they've been losing. You have to earn that trust. I'm just not going to give it to you because I'm a fan. You got to earn it. The Bulldogs had to earn it. Kirby had to earn it. The Braves had to earn it. Yeah, Falcons, y'all. Yeah, I love y'all. But you got to earn it. You know? Trust isn't given. It's earned. It's like respect. You just don't come across people, oh, I respect you. No. People have to earn your respect. People, you got to earn your trust too. So, but going back to Kyle Pitts, hey, they got to make it make sense. Got to make it make sense. I love what I saw from Drake London, but they're going to turn into a team that's going to be running the ball 53, 55, 57% of the time. I'm gonna start to wonder, like, well, why did you take these guys this early in the draft? I'm starting to wonder that. That's just what it's gonna be. That's just what it's gonna be. Winston, what's up, bro? Says, in my opinion, there should be an open competition at quarterback. Ritter needs to earn that spot and be honest. I think Heineke would beat him out. We shall see. And you know, Winston, that's been like our narrative for what, months now? It shouldn't be given to him. That's been our narrative for months now. We'll see how it plays out, man. Hey, for our sake as fans, for the Falcons' sake as our team, I hope Ritter works out. I really do. But that's a risky decision to make, man, for a new general manager and a new head coach who is yet to see a winning season. That's a very risky decision. We'll see. We'll see the end of the summer when the real games start getting played September. We gonna see. It's gonna be barbecue or mildew, really, because if that don't work out, Arthur Smith, you might be a lame duck head coach, man. So we shall see. Dixon Wentz says Kirby is the greatest coach in school history. Not even a debate. In 7 years, he has won 2 championships. Has been to the playoffs 5 of those 7 years. Yeah, that's not even debatable. Even the most divisive person in the world, they can't even formulate a proper debate on that. It's not even close. It's not even close. And what he's done in such a short period of time, and Bulldog fans like me will argue it really should be 3 national championships. But you know what? I ain't complaining. Because losing one might have been a catalyst and the motivation to win back to back. Because if you win that first one against Bama a few years back, maybe you're not as hungry as you are now to win 2 straight. And give everybody the finger who've been talking all that SHIT about the University of Georgia and the football program. That felt damn good. Especially that first one. Because that was such an emotional game. The second one felt great too. But we beat TCU up so bad. I kind of start feeling sorry for them kids. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm like, man, Kirby, chill out, bro. Like, you already up by like 40 points, man. Take your foot off the gas. Like, this is, and I'm a Georgia fan. I'm sitting here like, damn, this not even cool. What is 62-7? And then they scored off a busted defense. John Brooks says we called them Deadspins tied. They already waiting at the Beretta. Hey man, that's a very interesting bunch. The Deadspins, make no mistake about it. That's a very, very interesting bunch of fans, man. But hey, they are Falcons fans, but man, they're an interesting bunch. Trust the giraffe, trust the process. That's how some of the fans will be. I'm like, hey man, trust the giraffe, bro. You talking all that junk on the giraffe, you ain't seen him throw one pass. I'd be like, man, y'all don't question nothing. But that's how society is. That's different. Everybody different, man, for the most part. Some people are extroverts, some people are introverts, outgoing, not outgoing. Some people are talkative, some people are reserved. You got some fans that's just gonna be ride. They gonna go whatever the fan base say, and you got some fans that are gonna always question everything. They're like my man John Harris, man. You can't slide that in with John Harris as far as his team goes that he ain't gonna question it. Nothing. John gonna question everything that don't make sense to him. And you got people who are totally opposite of John Harris, and who you bring that giraffe in from the Sahara Desert, they gonna be in total support of that giraffe, and they gonna tell you how great the giraffe played in preseason, and he's the first giraffe to ever play in the NFL. So it's just different personalities. Lisa said they have been quiet on Pitt's recovery too. Do we even know his status? Is he 60% or better? I'm gonna anticipate I'm guessing, Lisa, he should be 100% by the start of the season, because he got hurt 10 or 11 games in. So he got hurt maybe around November, December. So he'll have almost a full year of rehab time. I'm guessing he's gonna be better. But you're right, they've been kind of hush on that. So I assume close to the training camp, when they start giving us more statuses, we'll know. But I'm guessing that he should be ready. And I was assuming that's why they went ahead and just shut him down, so he can go ahead and have that surgery. Because I remember he had the surgery like a day or two after the game. So I'm assuming he should be ready. Falstar says, if you like what you saw from Lundy, just remember who made him look that way. It wasn't Marcus MM1 or Marcus Mariota. I did, and I'm not taking nothing away from Ritter, but I'm not having a parade for Ritter just yet either, because that was like his only read, you know, and maybe that was because of the lack of available options to him at the time. But that was for the most part his only read. You know, he was only looking for Drake London, and then also at that time, that's when the scheme, and I mentioned earlier, false start. Arthur Smith said he schemes based on his quarterback strength, so they start running the ball as much, and they just open it up, and they just started passing a lot more. So that plays a part in it as well. Then also, hey, I know it's the NFL, but most of them yards came against a Cardinals team who was bought like the Falcons and had nothing to play for, in Tampa Bay third, fourth, fifth string. So um, we'll see. We'll see how it played out. But I did like what I saw from Drake London, minus the fumbling. The boy got to learn how to hold on to the ball. What's up, our money? Yeah, we got a bragging rights right now, man. We the big dog. Y'all got to knock us off the mountain now, man. We the big dogs. Y'all ain't the big dogs no more, man. But that's my spill on Ritter, man. Let's go ahead and get to Lamar Jackson here. Then we're gonna wrap this thing up here. Not Lamar Jackson. Hurts. Jalen Hurts just signed a new contract. Announced today. He is now, for the time being, the highest paid player in the NFL, and that's Jalen Hurts. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna talk about that deal. We're gonna talk about, like, and we're gonna get a little bit away from Falcons right now, but we can keep the Falcons if y'all want to, still come in and talk about the Falcons. We're gonna talk. How does the Jalen Hurts new contract? How does that? Does that make, like, Lamar in his situation right now? Is it favorable for Lamar now that Jalen has signed, or does it make Lamar look unfavorable now that Jalen Hurts has signed? I'm interested to hear y'all comments about that. Also, we're gonna also let's take a look at Ian Rappaport as he discusses the Jalen Hurts contract. Also, let's take a look at that here and see what Ian got to tell us about it here.
Jalen Hurts today, agreement in terms on a 5-year, $255 million contract, which is massive because it means on an average per year basis, he is now the highest paid for the Philadelphia Eagles, and no doubt about it, based on his performance the last couple of years, he has earned every bit of it. Also earned the first no trade clause in team history, which is a huge, huge deal. And if he plays basically like he has been, he can get an additional $15 million in incentives. So yes, Tom, today is a very, very good day.
Man, so he has a no trade clause in that contract also. No trade clause, and sounds like he got 179 million guaranteed, 110 million fully guaranteed, and they got something going on, like the first 2 years is really like 180 guaranteed, unless he just retires within the first 2 years, something like that. But if my perception is correct, it's like 110 fully guaranteed, but really 180 fully guaranteed. So congratulations to Jalen Hurts on his new deal. And that also brings us back to Lamar Jackson. Now, as y'all know, I've been a very loud proponent of signing Lamar Jackson. Very loud proponent of getting Lamar Jackson. My motto, my slogan was, "If them picks, go get Lamar." And I'm gonna tell y'all why I slowed down on that. One reason, Arthur Blank came out and pretty much said, "Hey, it's a no-go." Now, when the guy that actually makes the final decision and actually signs the check said it's not gonna happen, well, then you know what? For the most part, you gotta just fall in line. If the boss said it ain't gonna happen, well, it ain't gonna happen. So that's one reason. The other reason is like it appears that Lamar wants to get more fully guaranteed money than Deshaun Watson got, which is $230 million. Guaranteed at signing. Let me put that in there because that really matters. Because that's how much the money the owner would have to cut on the day he signs his contract. You got to write a big old check for $235, $240 million, send it to the NFL, put that in an escrow account. That money is gone. And it also automatically going to count against your salary cap. So within the last few weeks, when that news came out that he wanted more money fully guaranteed than Deshaun from Baltimore or whoever the new team is, I really got off the train then. Not gonna lie to y'all. And y'all know I've been capping, I've been saying get Lamar, but I'm gonna always keep it 100. Paying one player that much fully guaranteed money, that's not wise in a hard cap league. And I'm not saying from a market value standpoint that he's not worth a $230 million contract. I'm just saying when you start talking guaranteed at signing in a hard cap league, this ain't like Major League Baseball. This ain't like the NBA. They don't operate off fully hard cap leagues. And I'm not one of these people who side with the owners. And man, the owners got billions of dollars. What is $240 million to an owner? I agree with you, bro. Hey, I'm never going. I'm with you. But in a hard cap league, it makes a difference. It makes a big difference. It's hard to restructure contracts like that. Even Jalen Hurts contract, again, they got this language going on where it's 110 fully guaranteed at signing, but it turns to 179.5. But we'll just call it 180 for easy, man, because that's what it's going to end up being fully guaranteed at signing for the most part. But even that is 50 to 60 million less than what it seems like Lamar wants. Much as I wanted Lamar, man, I can't go with that. My breaking point with Lamar Jackson, back when nobody really knew much about the details of the negotiations between him and Baltimore, my breaking point was about 175, 185 million. Anything past 185 million guaranteed at signing, it got spooky to me. Yeah, like anything past that, like once you go past 185 million fully guaranteed at signing, okay, now we get in spooky territory. We get in real spooky territory. But to think that you want to have more money guaranteed at signing than Deshaun Watson got, I'm not gonna lie to you, I can't advocate that as a fan of the Falcons. I can't. I would have to side with the owner and the general manager with Fontenot and Arthur Blank on that. As much as I wanted Lamar, y'all know it, man. I was waving that flag every single day. Anybody who would listen to me, I would tell you, hey man, go get Lamar. But once the details start coming out, like hold your horses, dog. Hold on, big dog. Wait. Let's talk about this one now. That's a lot of goddamn money, fully guaranteed. And we got a lot of young players that had to come up and get paid. Lindstrom just got paid. McGarry got paid. You have to pay AJ some money. Grady Jarrett still got a nice contract. You have to pay Kyle Pitts pretty soon. Before you know it, you got to pay Drake London. And eventually you got to pay somebody else on that line. So that's when I just had to fall back. Okay, let me fall back. That don't make sense to me. And then people will say, well, how you know what Lamar won't? You don't know. How you know? How you know he won't? Well, Lamar did admit that they offered him 133 million fully guaranteed for 3 years, and he turned that down. He admitted that. Then when the news broke of what the negotiations were, Lamar never denied it. Lamar always typically denies anything that's not true. He'll come out and say that ain't true, that ain't true, that ain't true. But he ain't denied that part yet. When they said this guy was representing himself as Lamar Jackson agent, what Lamar did the very next day, that ain't true. But he ain't denied these contract talks or the contract negotiations, or the number, I shall say. So that's when I had to pull out, man. I'm like, hey, Lamar, bro, I think you'd have been phenomenal in this offense for the stuff we like to do, for the personnel that we got, for our coach. But no, not no 235. My bad, y'all. Not for 235 million, 240 million guaranteed. Like, wait a minute, bro. Like, we can't pay that. No. And you be getting hurt too. Like, I started sounding like the people that was opposing me. Like, no, man, you get hurt too. Like, no, bro. Now, especially with his playing style. His playing style also. Lamar uses his legs a lot, man. Then, people like, well, he never got hurt in the pocket. Man, what does that matter? What does that matter? It's football. You got a high risk of injury. You're going to rarely see a player like a Brett Favre or Matt Ryan. Rarely see that. Then when you get hurt the last 2 years, and I've been vocal in this too, man. I think Lamar should have been hired an agent, man. I think he should have been hired an agent. And people get mad at me when I say, well, why you think he need an agent? He don't need no agent. No, he don't need an agent. You're right. I agree. But it would be beneficial to have an agent. You see all these quarterbacks signing their deals? You think it's by coincidence that one who has signed is not represented by an agent? You think that's a coincidence? He don't need no. Yeah, he don't need no agent. When I used to get in trouble back in my younger days, I didn't need an attorney, but I got one. I went and paid. I remember paying one a $2,000 retainer for 8 hours. I was facing some legal issues. Had went and got in trouble. Had to break her off $2,000. Donica Knight, still remember her name. I didn't need an attorney. I didn't have to get an attorney. I could have walked in that courtroom like a Phoenix Shakur and represented myself. Like, what? I'm here. But no. It was more beneficial for me to get an attorney. I didn't have the same connections with the prosecutor, the judge, the clerk of the court. I didn't know them folks. They didn't know me. But Donica Knight, who got my $2,000 that I never seen again, even when the charges got dropped, you don't get that money back. She knew the prosecutor. They probably used to have lunch together. She knew the judges. She knew the clerk of the court. She knew the system. I didn't know that. So yeah, I could have went in there and walked in there like, hey, I'm representing myself. What's happening? I'm innocent. No. I didn't think it would be in my benefit to do that. I didn't think it might be in my benefit to do that. So yeah, I went and dropped that change and hired me an attorney. So no, Lamar don't need an agent. He don't have to have an agent, but I think it would be beneficial for him at this point to have one. It's just like when they had the owners meeting, I think last month. That's the perfect opportunity for, if you're in Lamar's situation, you don't have a deal, you got a certain number you want to get, what you ain't got yet. You're facing a franchise tag. You know what? At the owners meeting, you know what? That's the perfect time to be going on. Your agent to be negotiating at the owners' meeting on your behalf. Why? Because everybody is under one roof. All the owners are there. All the general managers are there and under one roof. That's when your agent actually gets shit done. Lamar wasn't there. His agent would have been there though. Hey, Mr. Blank, how's it going? As you know, I'm representing Lamar Jackson. Hey, I just want to talk to you real quick, Mr. Blank. Oh, I see Terry Fonten over there. Hey, let me have a quick word with you guys. What number? Okay, this is our number, but what number are you guys at? What number are you guys at? Also, your agent, they're able to use their leverage to your advantage. Y'all, Clutch Sports, not taking anything away from Rich Paul, but you know what? A lot of his power is in leverage because he represents so many people. He can leverage that in negotiations. Well, okay, well, you got my guy at this number. I'm sure if we can come to this number, my other guy who's coming up for a contract extension next year, hey, I'm sure we might can look out for you. You'll be the first team we call. That's what agents do. Lamar Jackson's rookie. Everybody wonder, well, man, why Lamar fell so far down the draft? Why he fell so far down the draft? It comes out later. All these teams were trying to contact him, to talk to him, to meet with him. They couldn't find him. He wasn't represented. You trying to call Lamar, you got to call him on his cell phone. He 19, 20 years old. He out doing other stuff at that time. So, no, he don't need an agent. But I think it would be to his benefit to have gotten one by now, especially when you're trying to get one of the richest contracts in NFL history and a complicated contract. And also an agent, they would have told Lamar, hey, we can't go out here and play the final year of your contract without you getting an extension. Because you know what happens, Lamar? If you get hurt, we lose our leverage. I can't let you go out here and play without a long-term deal in place. Because if you get hurt, our leverage is gone. What happened? He got hurt. Now, what are these owners like Arthur Blank coming out here publicly saying? Well, he's injury prone. Jalen Hurts go to a Super Bowl. What happens? A few months after the Super Bowl, his agent goes, oh, we got to get this deal now, bro. Why you on fire? Your name is hot. We got to get this deal now. We got to get it done now, bro. No, we ain't trying to wait, and we ain't trying to see what Burrow gonna get. We gonna get this money now. You young. We can go back and do this thing again in 3 or 4 years. After Lamar's MVP year, an agent, hey Lamar, we gotta go get them money now, big bro. You ain't but 22 years old. Bro. We could probably get us 2 more of these things, but we gotta go get this money now. While you hot, you on fire. We gotta strike while the iron's hot. We can't sit here and play around and be loosey-goosey with this thing. We gotta go get them money right now, homeboy. We got to get this money right now. That's what agents do, man. Lamar is a quarterback. And I know other players have negotiated their own deals, Roquan Smith, Richard Sherman, but there's a reason 98%, 99% of the players have agents. It's a reason. It's a necessary evil. Look at Deshaun Watson. This man was facing criminal charges at one point. You know, his case was being heard by grand juries. He still went and got that $230 million fully guaranteed because he had an agent. Do I think Deshaun Watson could have got that money by himself, representing himself after having all that mud on his name? Hell no. Hell no. No, I don't. But I guess we'll see how that ends up playing itself out. But that's why I fell back from the Lamar thing, man. Once them numbers start coming out, I was like, nah, man, Atlanta can't do that. Money, way too much money. And also, let's look at this clip real quick, y'all. And they talk about, they do some comparables between Lamar's contract. I'm sorry, between Hurts' contract and the amount that Baltimore offered Lamar that he turned down. So let's listen to this together real quick.
Years altogether. So his was on a 6-year deal. Here we go.
No,
Baltimore beatdown.
My bad, y'all. My laptop went dead. It ran out of battery. I had to unplug the mic and talk like this. My battery went out. But I'll go ahead and do this, man. We'll continue this Lamar Jackson. We'll continue. We'll do a part 2 of this. You know, we'll do a part 2 of this, and we'll finish talking about it, and so forth. But I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go, man. I appreciate y'all time, man. Appreciate y'all checking me out today. Wish we could have finished. I gotta buy an adapter so I can have all this stuff plugged up at the same time, and I can use the mic, and also ain't got to worry about my battery going out. But we'll finish this up. This will just leave us something else to talk about, like on Wednesday or Thursday. So we'll finish this conversation. I'm sure by that time there'll be new information we can talk about at that point in time. Also, as always, man, I appreciate y'all support. I definitely appreciate your time, man. And again, we will finish this up, and I'll see y'all the next time I